Tails right side. When it comes to a lightweight rifle, perhaps you're trying to build one for NRL Hunter Series. I know it's a bit windy out here, but bear with me. This setup right here is a perfect setup for a lightweight build. In this video, we are going to go over MDT's new HNT 26 chassis, tell you guys what I like about this thing and what you can do with this thing. Now, I opted in for the folder edition, so this thing is very modular. It does come with the ARCA rail, and this thing is stupid light. As you can tell, holding this thing one-handed like it's nothing. So we're gonna take a few shots downrange in this crazy wind, and let's see how this recoil impulse is. This target out here that we have is 440 yards in the crazy wind with a suppressor.
20 mile per hour wind?
Yeah, 18 mile per hour wind. Let's give this a shot here. Okay, that was right side. You can see the recoil impulse is very, very light. Let's try another shot here. That was dead center. And let's do one more, just to follow that up. Holding 1.2 mils right. And a win. So one thing to kind of notice is this chassis itself does have a little thumb rest. It's very nice, very ergonomic. The pistol grip itself is also carbon fiber. It's got a very big palm swell. I really like that on this chassis. Like I said, everything is made for lightweight. Though I would like to have a little bit of padding right here. Honestly, it does feel pretty good still. And this little thumb shelf area is kind of very similar to the MDT ESS chassis, where you can kind of rest your thumb there and get a good positive reinforced grip there. So let's do one more shot as this wind picks up.
I know.
And that was off. Very tough conditions right now, but we're going to go ahead and try out some more shots at 700 yards. We have 2 more targets out there and see how this works. Okay. See if we can get on target here. Got it. Back. And let's come up to this target here. Impact. Yeah, it moved it. You can see I'm just kind of timing the sway here. Up. Edge of target here. Let's do another one as the winds die down. There we go. So the chassis itself has a very unique magazine catch. It's just built into the trigger guard. Makes it very easy to remove just by pushing your finger on there. Very positive click using MDT's 224 Valkyrie mag. Also, it's got a cutout on the bottom of the trigger guard. So if you have an adjustable trigger like this Trigger Tech here, makes it very easy to adjust the trigger. So let's head back to the shed and let's talk about this chassis system, go over its features and how this thing works. So this chassis itself does feature 4 QD mounts, 2 on the back side, 1 on each side of the buttstock here, and also 2 on the fore end way up top of here, 1 on each side. There's also M-LOK slots. I do wish they did extend the M-LOK slot a little bit further down. However, you could add a Picatinny rail if you wanted to on either side of the handguard here, or 1 up top for your night optics. You could mount your flashlights and whatnot for varmint hunting at nighttime. And like I mentioned, this chassis is very lightweight. It consists of a magnesium center base. When you first get this chassis, it'll come in 2 pieces, in which you assemble the handguard after you put the barreled action in, and the base itself is actually magnesium. So very lightweight and very durable. Now it's got a very nice coating. I believe it is Cerakoted, and like I mentioned earlier in the video, the magazine catch is very ergonomic. So just getting behind this and pushing that right here to release the mag, it does release the mag very easily. I tried it with the MDT, I tried it with an accurate mag, both polymer and actually metal as well. So the magazine well itself is set up for AICS, and like I mentioned, it's very easy to release. Also, the trigger guard, it having a cutout right here, makes it very easy to get your Allen wrench and adjust your Trigger Tech trigger if you wanted to. So as I mentioned, this chassis itself is opt-in for the folder, and it does have a very nice folding capability. You basically press this button on the side right here, allows you to get to the first position, which will be right here. So if you want to clean your rifle, you basically can do that as well, or if you want to sight in your rifle, that allows you to do so. Now to completely fold this stock over, you basically hit the button one more time, which will unlock it and allow you to get it all the way folded. So I don't know if you guys heard that detent. It's a very positive click. This does lock it in place. It will not come loose on you. So in order to unfold this chassis, there is a little button right here in the center that you depress. So you hit that, you unlock it, and basically swing it open. So very nice positive locking system. MDT did a great job with this. I really recommend if you guys are going to get this chassis, definitely get the folder. It makes it a very compact design. Actually, this rifle, as it's configured with an 18-inch barrel, has an overall length of just 30 inches. So cool thing about the chassis as its selling point is it's lightweight. As this rifle is configured without the Tacticam, it does weigh 11 pounds 11 ounces even with the suppressor. So very lightweight. It will make NRL Hunter Series. It will make the lightweight division, except for the fact that this rifle is right now configured in 6 arc. So it won't make the power factor needed for NRL Hunter Series. I was just using this as a demonstration. However, I did make a barreled action for a client, which I tried out. It was a 20-inch barrel in 6.5 Creedmoor, and that one actually did make power factor even with that shorter barrel. I was able to make 2,745 feet a second with a 147 grain ELD bullet. So that definitely made power factor required for NRL Hunter Series. So I guess the caveat to this chassis would be 2 things. For one, this chassis is set up for more of a shorter barrel. Aesthetically, you know, even though it will work with a 26-inch barrel, it will kind of look kind of funky, to be honest. So I think a 24-inch barrel will probably be the most length I would put on this thing. The handguard itself is just over 10.5 inches. So take account of that. Ideally, I would make a 24-inch barrel its max length, just for aesthetics as well as weight balance. So the other caveat to this thing is its length of pull. Now, the length of pull of this chassis is just over 12 3/4 of an inch. They do provide a couple spacers when you buy this thing, which will mount in between the squishy butt pad and the stock itself, which will give you another 3/4 of an inch. The other, I guess another downside to it is there is no way to put a bag rider. Now there is a screw, I believe that's to put your swivel stud if you want it to, but there is no mounting system to add a bag rider. I wish MDT would put some kind of screw system or whatnot if you wanted to add a bag rider or make something out of carbon fiber or something. I think that would be pretty cool. Have this thing extended out a little bit further. And as you could tell, I guess the other downside, putting more negatives, which really isn't a big deal, but it's aesthetics really. The cheek riser itself has some damage. Now I've had this rifle I had this chassis for roughly over 2.5 weeks, and it's usually folded up. So it looks like my dog got to it, but fortunately that didn't happen. She's an older dog, so she no longer chews, luckily. So not sure what caused that. It is nice to have a nice foam cheek pad. It does cut back on all the sweat and stuff when it's on the hot summer days. So, but the only thing about it is that it does get damaged very easily. Now, I see this more and more often. The manufacturers are adding this to their chassis, like MPA. MPA is a big fan of putting foam cheek risers. Honestly, I would say if it's not leather or something more durable, I'm not a big fan of this. Having just a cheek riser that's just rubber, I think ideally would be the way to go. But this thing is very lightweight. Like I mentioned, it's it will pass for NRL Hunter Series. 11 pounds 11 ounces as it's configured. Other than the fact that it is in 6 arc. I was able to make this thing a 6.5 Creedmoor and make the power factor still. But you could definitely make this thing a lighter rifle, but just by cutting back a few things. You know, a lot of guys say, hey, why don't you just get a carbon fiber barrel for this build for a carbon fiber chassis? I'm not a really big fan of carbon fiber. You don't really save much weight in my opinion. It's mostly looks. And also I wanted the weight to be more forward of this chassis system. So as it's configured with an 18-inch barrel, the balance of this rifle is just forward of the mag well right here, even without the bipod. So kind of, you know, getting the best of both worlds. I got a nice thick barrel which allows you to get a lot of high volume shots and get that barrel pretty hot without it walking on you. I know a lot of carbon fiber barrels after a certain amount of shots will start walking. So for a competition like NRL Hunter, where you're having to engage, let's say 6 targets downrange, and you're running like a 25 Creedmoor or 6.5 Creedmoor, it could definitely get that barrel pretty smoking hot. So the best benefits, I think, is having a nice thick barrel. You can save weight in other ways. For instance, like not going with a SkyPod, because those things are stupid heavy. You could go with a Harris bipod or something that's carbon fiber. Definitely cut weight that way. And also go with a 2-piece scope mount. So you'll cut weight just by going with a 2-piece scope mount. Or if you wanted to, you could go with a 1-piece carbon fiber scope mount for like black collar arms or something. Obviously the scope you choose does dictate the weight as well. So you could go with a lighter weight scope as well. So this chassis is jam-packed full of features. I really do like it. Aesthetically, this will be just my opinion. Aesthetically, it's all right. It kind of is a weird, funky look to it, but it's growing on me. Looking at this thing is more of a modern, kind of a futuristic design, kind of like an Alien versus Predator style rifle. And the only thing I would say that would make it look better is if it had a bag rider. If they made some way to put a bag rider, I think that would be a huge upgrade as far as looks, ergonomics, and how this thing operates. But the carbon fiber and the basic quality of this chassis is very top notch. Now this is a very pricey chassis. It's upwards over $1,000 with the upgrades as far as the folder and ARCA rail. So it is pricey, but if you're really needing a lightweight build that's going to be reliable, this definitely is a top choice. There's also the XLR Element 4.0, which is also another favorite of mine. Actually comparing this to the XLR Element 4.0, there is a magnesium version which will basically be in comparison with this as far as weight. However, MDT does have these things more available in stock. So unfortunate XLR, I love you guys, but your guys' products are always out of stock. I can never find the chassis systems needed. I'm a big fan of XLR, but however, like I mentioned, you just can't find them. So MDT has been awesome throughout this COVID crap that's been going on. Their inventory is usually in stock, and if it is back ordered, it isn't back ordered for long. So a huge thumbs up to MDT for doing that. Their customer service is also spot on. You can call them, get on the website, chat, which by the way, they updated the website. It looks phenomenal. So big thumbs up again for that one. And like I mentioned, these things are available right now. Well folks, that's my review on the MDT HNT 26 chassis. I'm going to say a 7 out of 10 thumbs up for this chassis system. It's a great option for hunting, lightweight, or if perhaps you're getting into ruck matches where you're having to hike, jog, whatnot, like the competition dynamics. This will be a very great setup for lightweight and still be accurate. In fact, this thing has improved accuracy. Well, from what I've noticed, I've actually shot this thing as it's configured, and it's putting a sub 1/4 inch group. Obviously it depends on how you build your rifle and who builds your rifle. If you guys are interested in building one of these things and you want a tack driver that's light, go ahead and hit me up at dpgunworks.com. A rifle like this will be for sale on the website. If you guys are looking for just the chassis, go to mdttack.com. I'll put a link in the description below and go ahead and check it out. So I want to hear your comments below, folks. Drop a line. As always, y'all stay safe out there, and I'll catch y'all on the next video. Thanks for watching.